Hi, and welcome to the Outquisitions podcast, where we spotlight industry leaders redefining success. The goal of each episode of the podcast is to uncover their stories, their strategies, and insights to inspire, inform, and really elevate your own journey. So let's dive into today's conversation with yet another super inspiring guest. If you want to listen to a really interesting talk, then stay tuned. So Pam, hello. Thank you for coming to the platform. Really glad to meet you. As of my first question, let's dig right into it. Can you please share with me your role within your company and also what your mission is?
Yes. Hello. Is it, I want to say your name right. Killian?
Killian, yes. Yes,
Killian.
perfect.
Yes, Killian. Nice to meet you. And thank you for your interest. My name is Pam Boney. I'm the founder of Tilt365, tilt365.com. We're designers and researchers in the space of character strength assessment and leadership development, coaching, and we also have a coaching academy. Our mission is to reduce divisiveness in the world through developing agility in leaders that helps them to be generative.
Okay. How has when did you start, by the way, first, this company?
In 2009.
Okay, so quite a time ago.
Mm-hmm.
How has your vision evolved over time? Did your vision, your mission evolved over time since 2009?
The mission, I would say, is the same.
Okay.
The problem we solve is divisiveness. And 15 years ago, people didn't know that was a big problem. What my research is on extremes and how when we get into extremes in our personality, what that really is an indicator of is fear, ego fear, where we lose our ability to be authentically who we are by getting lost in the past and worrying about the past or the future. And that engages our ego and ego fears, and it causes us to be extreme. And extremes are what trigger other people to also go in fear. So the problem we solve is how do we help people become self-aware about their personality preferences and their extremes, and how do you manage that by understanding that that's not really who you are, that your ego is not who you are.
Interesting.
Really, our ego is fearful.
Yeah. And so what's the main benefits? Let's say, I want to be trained. I want you to coach me, Pam. What are the main benefits I would get out of this whole training?
That's a great question. The link between your fulfillment and happiness in life and your ability to stay present in the moment and stay out of your ego is a very strong correlation. So the more you learn, it's basically self-knowledge and self-awareness and self-management. The more you learn to do this using character strength, the happier you're going to be, because when you're in your authentic self, you're just kind of calm and happy and comfortable and not worried, not fearful, not concerned, like you're just gracious and kinder, and also more courageous and more bold and more unique and more creative. All of the good things that we want to be. When we forget ourselves, when we forget our ego, in other words, when we're self-forgetting, that's when we show up the very best. And when we show up at our best more often and are less fearful, we have much better relationships. We perform better. We are better team members. We work better. We're more productive. and we're more innovative and more creative. So lots of benefits. The most important one is we're happier.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, everyone wants to be, I want to be happy for sure. Yeah. Makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. Now, and why do we work? Like, that's one of the things that I always ask people, like, okay, why do you do your job? Well, you do your job to get the money or satisfaction of the work that you're doing. But really money is like filling an empty hole. There's never going to be enough. So, and the same thing with your ego. Anything that you're trying to feed your ego, like popularity or fame or achievement or things like that, they're good to a point. But the more, they're something that you can't ever fully fulfill. So true fulfillment happens in the moment right now, not in the future, and not worrying about the past.
So I guess that is why learning to live in the present, it just holds huge benefits for any human being, right?
Yeah. And we're very social. So social relationships are what's the biggest benefit.
Yeah. And so I guess since you are present since 2009, what you propose to the market and to the people, it works, or else you wouldn't be here talking to me today.
Right.
So by extension, how is in our current corporate culture, corporate world, would you say ego and fear is really present? Like, is this a big issue? Whether it's globally, maybe more in the US, in Europe, really anywhere. Would you say this is a big issue?
Yes, and it's actually become more of an issue than it was when I founded the company. I started the research about 30 years ago when I realized this about myself. I was in the corporate world, and I realized, that this is something that I needed to work on in myself. So I started that research a long time ago. And I used to do a presentation and tell people, like, this is what's going to happen if we don't pay attention, if we don't learn this. And all of those predictions have not only come true, they're much worse than I predicted. So, I think divisiveness is an even bigger problem today than it was 30 years ago, and a bigger problem than it was 15 years ago, and a bigger problem than it was 5 years ago. And a lot of that has to do with the algorithms that are used in social media and the way that we're receiving information and news. We've become much less objective, and we've become, sucked into like more of the same when it comes to biases that divide us.
Interesting. Now, would you be able to share with us a recent success story, or let's say a really memorable client experience where you actually, made a tangible impact, and it was basically a huge success? Would you have, like one of the best case studies that you have? Would you be able to share it with us?
Sure. We are all coaches in this, coaches and consultants, and we mostly work with teams.
Okay.
So when we're consulting with a team, often what we're called to do or to come in and help them with is to understand why a team has all these big personalities that are not getting along. And, so this person believes this and they're very strong in their beliefs. And then another person on the team believes something very different, and they're very big and strong in the way that they think it should be very different, the opposite, actually. So our assessments are used to help all of these people on the team to not only understand why they do what they do and why their ego cares about certain things, but also understanding this in others. And so when we do a work session or a lab with teams, we're helping all of them understand themselves and understand each other better. And once you understand this relationship between ego and real self, and that it's really not you that's upset and polarizing, it's actually a part of you that's fearful about something, then you can have a conversation and a dialogue about it. So we work with teams all the time in helping them have those conversations.
No, makes sense. Interesting. I have a question, and maybe I'm totally off track, but I'm going to ask the question anyways. In terms of gaining awareness on your ego and so on, does meditation have a place in this as well? Do you teach people to take distance from their emotions and so on through meditation?
Meditation is a practice that helps us to learn to manage the thoughts that are triggered by ego fears.
Okay.
So meditation is one of the things that you can do and learn to do that helps you manage and self-regulate the thoughts that your ego likes to conjure up.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are lots of things other than meditation too, but meditation just happens to be something that you do by yourself and that helps you learn how to regulate the thoughts that present in your mind.
Okay. Interesting. Well, would you say it's a competitive market for you as a business? Yeah. So my next question is, why are you the best? I mean, of course, you have some case studies. You've been in the game since 2009.
Yeah.
Which shows that you have expertise, right? But what sets your business apart in the competitive landscape?
Yeah. There are a couple of things. One, our assessments are quick, and the research is really robust. We've been doing the research for 30 years. So when you read an assessment, when you take an assessment, it's very fast. It is really fun. It's not hard to take. And then when you read your results, you have like pretty big face validity and awareness. Like, oh my gosh, that's why I do what I do. So it's more provocative, I would say, than most assessments. Like a lot of personality assessments will tell you, this is your personality and here's how you name it and here's how you think about yourself. But they put you in a box that can actually reinforce your ego instead of helping you outwit it. So that difference, I think, is really important. It helps you to understand, like, I shouldn't trust that. There's really a better part of myself that I can trust more. So it's more provocative information. It's really well-researched information. It's great, robust, rigorous science behind it. And the assessments are really quick to take, which people have a very short attention span today. But it's difficult. The competitive environment is difficult because there are many old school assessments that have been out there for a long time that have much more market domination out there. And to get a company to switch from that assessment to our assessment, it is, it requires a lot of resources. It requires a lot of marketing. It's hard to bring today a product to market and then prove product superiority than it was 30 years ago when those older assessments were, brought to market. So it's just a tougher landscape. There's just more confusion out there, more products, more things that are distracting.
More everything, more social media as well.
More everything, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Who are the, let's say, your ideal client profile? Your best clients,
okay.
The ones you think if you partner with them,
yeah,
you would really move the needle forward for them.
So we look for innovative leaders that care about the development of their team and care about the dynamics of their team and want to reduce ego drama and counterproductive interaction. But they want to embrace these big personalities, like the people that have a lot to offer in the world. They care, they're passionate, they love what they do, they're very creative, they're very innovative. That's our top persona, is a team leader that is, actively engaged in developing their team and helping that team produce innovation and solve the problems of our time.
Okay, got you. Now, more in terms of yourself, Pam, as the leader of your business, and the founder. Where do you want to see yourself and the business in 12 months' time? So, in 12 months from now, looking back, how would you define success?
So we've been very late. We've been laying low for the last 2 years, actually, since the pandemic. We think everything changed because of the pandemic. People are very overwhelmed. There a lot of anxiety and divisiveness have surfaced and become even more prevalent in the world. So we have taken everything, and for the last 2 years, we're about to finish rebuilding all of our tech stack on a more modern tech stack using AI, using new algorithms, and also AI, so that we can translate into other languages, which we've never done before. So all of that work has been being done last year and this year, and we're 90% done. So next year is when we plan a new go-to-market, and a whole new, whole new way of teaching, a whole new way of we're producing new products that are even faster, even more simple, even more clear about how to help people and what benefits that come from that. So everything's just been really fun these last 2 years. We just decided, hey, companies are struggling the last couple of years. They have one of the things they can stop doing is investing in people when things aren't good. So we know that that's very cyclical. And so we just went with it. We're just like, okay, we'll just serve those that want to keep being served. But we're not going to go get new clients right now. We're just going to rebuild. So that's what we've been doing. And it's really been fun because we've been able to take the benefit of the research that we've done over the last 15 years and repurpose it with a whole new way of thinking. So everything's going to be better when we launch it in first quarter next year.
Okay, interesting.
As an inventor, that's really fun.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. I believe this. Do you open up those conversations with the HR departments right away, or do you
usually no?
Leaders? Oh, okay.
No, because HR departments are usually the ones who support those leaders that are our target audience. So our target audience are leaders that are working with their team and want to, provide development experiences and offsites and workshops and labs and things like that for their team. And it's usually those team leaders that are doing exciting things that go back to HR and say, hey, you need to support me on this. So we would, while we would love to have an HR department come to us and say, we want this for our company and we want to provide this for everybody in the company, that's just not how it works usually.
Interesting.
We hope that.
Yeah. So instead, how does it work? I mean, do more on the business perspective here. Do you get new partners through word of mouth because of the quality of your products mainly?
Almost all of it.
All of it. Wow.
Almost all of our business has been referrals from our first two clients. Our first two clients 15 years ago, Facebook on the West Coast, and did it with everybody in the company when they were 4,000 or 5,000 employees. So we help them on the ground floor to, build their culture. You can see our values in their values, like you can see it. And Red Hat is a company on the East Coast that we did the same thing with. It's an open source software company that we did Tilt with everyone in that company. They recently got acquired 5 years ago by IBM, and they're now huge. But we were with them when they were only 15,000, 16,000 employees. So those two clients are the source of almost every other client we've had in the last 15 years. So pretty much every time somebody comes, we say, "Where did you hear about us?" And it's almost always, a few degrees from one of those two companies.
Wow. I mean, this really shows the quality of your service and your product. You won't get referrals if you don't know what you do, and if you don't really bring benefits actually to customers. So it's beautiful. When in some of those interviews, of course, having referrals and inbound leads coming to get new partners, this is great, but usually not really scalable. And you can't. You don't have tons of control over this. Let's put it that way.
That's right.
So in terms of growth, is there any other way you wish you could grow, such as with a little bit more control, such as maybe ads, outbounds, maybe cold calling, I don't know, going into events as well? This has worked well.
Yeah. We wanted to rebuild the tech stack first. So that'll all happen in a new good market next year. And we do plan to go, attempt to scale it at that point. But it's up to this point, we're a research company and we really needed to learn. And, when you're doing psychological assessments, you really do need to have a lot of research behind you. So that we've now done that, 10, 15 years of research. So we now know a lot, so we, and that's why it was time also for us to rebuild everything with a whole new way of thinking. And, AI totally changed everything.
Yeah.
So even our assessments are utilizing AI algorithms to present different questions to different people. So it's kind of fun to see where we are technically. We're able to do all the things that we envisioned 15 years ago now, but we couldn't do it previously. Like we couldn't translate into other languages without a lot of work and a lot of resources. And we chose to bootstrap the company. And so we've limited how big we got up until this point. But I think now that technology's kind of caught up with what's possible, once we have these things complete, next year definitely would be the time that we could potentially scale.
Beautiful. Last question, and thank you, Pam. It's been great. What's the best way for new customers or partners, wanting to work with you, to connect with you?
Sure. So visit our website at www.tilt365.com and check it out. Or you can email me, Pam at tilt365.com. Or our head of business development, Sean, it's SEAN at tilt365.com.
Great. Thank you for this quick interview. Future looks bright. It was really interesting talking to you, and great. And any last ideas you want to share, maybe?
I don't think so, except that right now it's a pretty important time in history, and the future really is in the hands of the young generation, people like you. So it's exciting to hear from you too.
Putting me on the spot here. Yeah, great. Thanks, Pam.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
It was nice to meet you.